My guest is Marijo Cuerrier from Downtown Kingston BIA, and it's so good to see you again.
Always.
and you've got a big festival coming up.
We do. We're right in the throes of trying to get it up and running in Springer Market Square today.
But it opens this weekend, the first weekend in February.
Yep, the opening ceremonies are February 1st, so this weekend.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, it's fabulous. So tell me about it.
So it's running from February 1st to the 17th, from 6 p.m. till 10 p.m. There's skate rentals in Springer Market Square. Hopefully the ice will hold out. That's all sort of the normal stuff. But then we're bringing in something called 3D mapping, which is basically taking an animated story and projecting it onto City Hall and the Bank of Montreal building, both which are limestone, so it's a nice pale palette behind. The story is a 5-minute story that was written by a couple that we got to know a couple of years ago working with them in a project called warmups. So they're an Indigenous couple, very well known in the community, and the story is actually a little bit of a story about them.
Oh.
So that's been animated by a company called AVA Animation, and it'll be amazing. There's other things happening, but that's the main attraction. It's a big deal.
It's a lot of effort, because I know you were thinking about this, oh my gosh, at least 6 months ago. We touched on it even then. So this is finally coming together. It's wonderful. So there'll be ice skating.
Yep, there'll be ice skating on the weekends. There's quite a bit of programming. So there's bracelet making, there'll be food, hot chocolate, etc. Fire pits will be going. As I said, skate rentals. There'll be a lot to do on Thursday, Friday, Saturdays, Sundays-ish. And then during the week it's running anyway, so if you can't get down, you can at least go and see and hear the story. The story is being told in 4 different languages, so English, Ojibwe, Cree, and French.
Oh.
So 5 minutes of one, then there'll be a break, 5 minutes to change the language. And that was so that we could, one of our mandates to do with these kind of festivals is to be able to reflect the Indigenous culture back on people who are Indigenous who live in our community.
That is such a great idea, and it's such a way of introducing it, and at a time of year when everybody, the month of February, come on, it's not a nice month normally. So this is a really good idea, and it's so colorful. The colors and the I can't wait. Sounds wonderful.
Yeah, we definitely have a passion for embracing the season. Being Canadian, really wanting to help not only people who live here, but also tourists understand that Kingston is a beautiful city to visit and live in, but you do need to dress warm and go out and do what's happening in the community. So we try and offer, we chose February, everybody's recovered from Christmas. February tends to be the coldest and tends to have the most snow, which we just had a fresh crop of snow last night, and that just makes the set even more magical. It
really does, and the ice skating in City Hall is just wonderful. It's such a nice addition, and so but that's not all that's going on.
It's a funny, it's a very busy late winter. So we've got that going on. We've also got Lunar New Year. We've started to celebrate. This is the 2nd year of celebration. It will start on January 29th. It's technically happening today in other countries, but it goes on for a couple of weeks. So we start celebrating downtown January 29th. There's programming around that. Then we've got Fouad art, which are art pieces that are frozen in a big block of ice.
It's one of those things you got to see it to appreciate it.
Yes, and the last 2 years the ice has melted, so it hasn't been as good. But this year it's holding solid. It looks amazing, especially at night. So that's happening downtown in what we call Rochelot Court, the little courtways. They're sort of pathways through in around behind some of our places there. And then we also have Kingston Licious. This isn't a program that Downtown Kingston has created. It's a creation by Tourism Kingston. A wonderful program. I think this is the 3rd or 4th year that they've done it. And it also starts early early February, goes until March. It's a number of restaurants in all of Kingston, but of course the majority of them are downtown because that's where most of the restaurants are. And it's prix-fixe menus at each place so that you get a chance to try something that you might not have otherwise tried. There's also a lot of individual programming, so where you go and there's a show of some sort to do with sometimes famous chefs or chef combinations, so that's really exciting. And then the last thing I think is important for everybody to know that Kingstonlicious / Tourism Kingston piece of this time of year, they have a $100 Visa card for people who come and stay overnight.
Oh, that's a nice idea.
Yeah, and that way they spend money in the downtown core. Or not downtown core, City of Kingston in that case.
Right. I understand the screening room partners with some of the restaurants, and they'll show a movie, but before the movie starts or after the movie, you go to one of the restaurants and the menu is somehow based on the movie they just saw.
That's right. Yep. One was just at Olivea and Screening Room. Yes, they do that as a partnership. It's wonderful.
It is, because the screening room is just a gem.
It is.
I just love the screening room.
Me too.
So
yeah.
So you can combine going to a nice movie and a nice meal, and then there's all this other to take in as well. It's a full evening.
Yeah.
And a really nice evening.
Yeah.
A lot of people who live out in the burbs tell me I never go downtown, and most of the reason is because of parking.
Yes.
Yeah. So the bus service down there is actually very good. I often take the bus instead of driving for exactly that reason. So that's one thing I could mention is take the bus.
Take the bus,
it'll get you there.
The other thing is our parking garages almost always, even when events are on, have a plethora of parking. So yes, you might not be able to park exactly outside of where you want to be, but if you head straight for Hanson or Chown garages, you're going to find a parking spot. And then you're covered if it snows or anything like that. So that's what I do. If I have to drive downtown, I live down there, so I don't get my car out much, but when I do, I always just head for the big garages.
Garages, yeah. And it's safe as well.
It's safe.
Yeah.
It's one street over. They're both on Brock. There are other ones, but those are the two big ones.
The ice skating, if you haven't put on skates in a long time and you sold them at a yard sale a long time ago, is there a skate rental down there?
Yes, so we're offering skate rental through Spirit of Winter in the evenings, but Trailhead rents skates as long as they're open, so sort of more daytime retail hours.
And they're right downtown as well?
They're right downtown, about a 3-minute walk from the rink. The rink is very popular now because we have fire pits there. It's just such a nice experience.
And even though there's a fire pit, dress warmly.
Always dress warm.
Layers.
I tell my kids, you want to be Canadian, you want to enjoy the outdoors, dress in layers.
That's
and
right.
You'll have a much better time.
Yep, because if you're out skating, you may want to take off a layer or two as
right.
well. And
yep.
Yeah, so you can get hot chocolate, you can get
yep.
food, you can.
Yeah, there's tons of places to get hot chocolate and hot drinks after hours, so if you're coming to Spirit of Winter, but also some of our restaurants just this week are working on some Spirits of Winter.
Oh,
so some drinks that are Spirit of Winter themed.
Like
Tiernanog will be one of them.
Like the hot toddies and those kinds of things that kind of warm you all the way down.
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah, Tiernanog also has 2 of the original paintings from the artists that we worked with, one of them being The Bear and Me, which is the story that's being told. They're large paintings, and they're actually being auctioned off for 2 charities of the artist's choice. So that's on our website.
That is terrific.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. It sounds like it's going to be a wonderful time. And just double back to Lunar New Year. What are some of the things going on to celebrate Lunar New Year?
Yes. I hope I can do this justice because I've been so concentrated so much on Spirit of Winter. So we had dragon dancers last year. We're having them back on Sydenham Street.
They're fun.
Yeah.
That's fun.
Oh, yeah. It's just so beautiful.
Yeah, the colors, especially against the white snow and the, Yeah.
So Sydenham Street will be the focus of Lunar New
Okay.
Year. I don't know what the date is yet, that it will be on
Right.
our website. And then a bunch of our businesses are doing a lot of really cool, creative things for people to get involved in inside their stores.
And it's a year of the snake.
It's the year of the snake.
Yes, I think that is just one of those years. There's nothing special about it, just one of those years, but we're celebrating. So you mentioned your website a number of times. What is the website address?
DowntownKingston.ca.
Easy enough. Thanks so much for coming in.
Thanks for having me.